Winning by Jack Welch is a comprehensive guide to achieving success in business and leadership, drawing from Welch's experience as the CEO of General Electric, GE, for 2 decades. Under his leadership, GE's market value skyrocketed from $13 billion to $410 billion, making him one of the most admired and controversial business figures of his time. The book is both a reflection on his career and a practical manual filled with insights on leadership, competition, strategy, and corporate culture. Welch, alongside his wife Susie Welch, distills his philosophy into actionable lessons, emphasizing candor, differentiation, and relentless execution as the cornerstones of a thriving business. At the heart of winning is Welch's belief in candor. He argues that most companies suffer from a lack of honest communication, which leads to mediocrity and inefficiency. People are afraid to speak openly, fearing conflict or repercussions, but Welch insists that without candor, organizations stagnate. He describes how fostering a culture of openness, where employees can freely express their opinions, challenge ideas, and receive straightforward feedback, leads to faster decision-making in stronger teams. For Welch, candor is not just about being blunt but about creating an environment where people feel safe to share their thoughts without fear. Another pillar of Welch's philosophy is differentiation, a concept that underpinned GE's management style. He implemented a performance ranking system that categorized employees into 3 groups: the top 20%, the middle 70%, and the bottom 10%. The top performers were rewarded and nurtured, the middle were coached to improve, and the bottom were let go. This controversial practice, often referred to as rank and yank, was designed to ensure that only the best talent thrived within the company. Welch defends the system, arguing that it prevents complacency and pushes employees to perform at their highest level. He believes that treating everyone the same, regardless of performance, is not fairness but rather a disservice to both the company and its employees. Welch is a strong advocate for building a winning culture. He dismisses bureaucratic red tape and unnecessary complexity, believing that simplicity, speed, and agility are crucial in a competitive business environment. He champions a meritocratic workplace where people are judged based on results rather than tenure or politics. In his view, the best companies create an atmosphere where employees are energized and committed to a shared mission. He emphasizes that leaders must set a clear vision, communicate it effectively, and ensure that everyone in the organization understands how their work contributes to the company's goals. Strategy, according to Welch, is not about lengthy reports or theoretical frameworks, it is about making clear, decisive choices. He believes that companies overcomplicate strategy, turning it into an academic exercise rather than a practical roadmap. His approach to strategy is straightforward: define what your company can be the best at, focus relentlessly on that goal, and execute with intensity. He warns against being stuck in the middle of the pack, emphasizing that businesses must either lead their industry or risk irrelevance. Companies that fail to differentiate themselves will ultimately be squeezed out by more aggressive competitors. Hiring and developing talent is another key theme in winning. Welch views hiring as one of the most important responsibilities of a leader, arguing that the best companies are built on the strength of their people. He offers practical advice on how to identify top talent, emphasizing the importance of energy, passion, and integrity. He also stresses the need for continuous learning and development, encouraging leaders to provide employees with opportunities to grow and take on new challenges. In his view, great leaders do not micromanage but empower their teams to take ownership of their work. Welch is particularly critical of corporate politics and bureaucracy, which he sees as barriers to success. He recounts how he fought against the entrenched bureaucracy at GE, stripping away unnecessary processes and streamlining operations. He urges companies to cut through complexity, arguing that too many organizations are paralyzed by layers of approvals and indecision. Speed and adaptability, he argues, are what separate winning companies from those that fade into obscurity. The book also delves into leadership, offering a no-nonsense approach to what makes a great leader. Welch believes that the best leaders are not necessarily the smartest people in the room but those who can inspire, motivate, and develop others. He identifies 4 key traits of a great leader: authenticity, resilience, vision, and the ability to energize others. Leaders must be honest about their strengths and weaknesses, stay focused in the face of challenges, communicate a compelling vision, and rally their teams toward success. Welch's approach to competition is aggressive and unapologetic. He encourages companies to embrace competition rather than fear it, viewing it as the driving force behind innovation and excellence. He advises businesses to study their competitors closely, understand their strengths and weaknesses, and find ways to outmaneuver them. He also believes in being brutally honest about one's own position in the market. Companies that delude themselves into thinking they are better than they are will ultimately be caught off guard by more prepared competitors. The book addresses crisis management, with Welch sharing insights on how to handle downturns, layoffs, and corporate challenges. He acknowledges that making tough decisions, such as cutting jobs or shutting down unprofitable divisions, is never easy, but he argues that avoiding these decisions only prolongs the pain. He believes that companies must act swiftly in times of crisis, making bold moves to reposition themselves for long-term success. Leaders who hesitate or sugarcoat problems risk damaging their organization's credibility and future prospects. Welch also offers guidance on work-life balance, acknowledging that ambition and career success often come with personal sacrifices. He shares his own struggles with balancing his professional and personal life, advising readers to be intentional about how they allocate their time. While he does not advocate for an extreme workaholic lifestyle, he emphasizes that winners in business must be willing to put in the effort and make the hard choices that come with leadership. The book's latter sections focus on corporate transformations, mergers and acquisitions, and the evolving role of globalization. Welch discusses how GE successfully navigated acquisitions and divestitures, ensuring that every business in its portfolio was either a leader or had the potential to become one. He warns against acquiring companies simply for the sake of growth, arguing that every acquisition must have a clear strategic purpose. In his discussion on globalization, Welch urges companies to embrace international markets, seeing them as opportunities rather than threats. He recounts GE's expansion into emerging markets and highlights the importance of adapting to different cultural and economic environments. The companies that win in the 21st century, he argues, will be those that think globally and are willing to operate across multiple geographies. Throughout winning, Welch maintains a direct, no-excuses tone. He does not believe in sugarcoating reality or making excuses for failure. His philosophy is rooted in accountability, execution, and an unrelenting drive to win. While some of his methods, particularly his emphasis on differentiation and forced rankings, have been criticized, his track record speaks for itself. The book is not just a theoretical guide but a collection of hard-earned lessons from one of the most influential business leaders of modern times. In the end, Winning is a book about mindset as much as it is about strategy. Welch believes that success is not reserved for the lucky or the privileged but for those who are willing to work hard, adapt, and fight for their goals. His advice is pragmatic and unfiltered, making it an essential read for anyone looking to excel in business, leadership, or life.